sky get any hotter? You're never going to see anything that incredible again. Look out. Do you believe it? It's the instant martial arts. The
We are back. This is the first time we've been talking to you guys
Is it since draft day?
since the draft.
And we had a couple of snippets and advertisements.
Right.
Speaking of advertisements.
So first and foremost, I want to thank Brookville Auto, our newest sponsor, Moshe Azachi. Tremendous job. You know, he does a great job all over Lakewood. Anywhere you look at the back of a car, it's a Brookville vehicle.
anything from a Porsche to a Ferrari to a minivan.
Right, no, he does it all. And
Exactly.
Moshe, guys, I recommend you giving Moshe Azachi the business. He's got great pricing, and listen, he's one of us. He's one of the boys, part of the league
Right.
for years.
Good lefty hitter.
Second sponsor, you could take that away.
Ze
Arak.
Arak.
Listen, I got to tell you something. Every Friday, without fail, Charlie pulls up to my house, gives me a sample of the latest Arak or the latest vodka, whatever it may be. I go into Shabbat and I'm on a high. It's
I'll tell you,
unbelievable.
last night I went to Daddy and Mommy's house, and Daddy had the coconut Arak.
Yeah.
He goes, take a little swig. I said, Daddy, I can't now. And he goes, I had a little bit for dinner. But
Listen, it's making its way
Yeah.
around, and I already know that everyone's going around buying Ze'arak with the M&S promotion code. You tell them M&S, and he gives you some sort of promotion. I'm not sure what it is. Number two.
I really hope he takes off Beyond because it's really good stuff. And I see he's a hustler
He's a hustler.
He's making it
And
work.
finally, our third sponsor is Mill Basin Yeshiva of Mill Basin Yeshiva Academy. That's Rafal Farhi, Rabbi Farhi, good friend of ours. He is indoctrinating his yeshiva as a part of the community on whole.
Mainstreaming.
Mainstreaming, exactly. And those are our three sponsors this year, and we're excited to have them a part of the family. And without further ado, let's get to it.
So this is the breakdown show. This is a show we look forward to very much. We got 7 teams. We try to do quick. 7 teams. There's going to be 2 not in the playoffs. And let's get right to it. Like Sammy said, who has a good team?
You know, the reason why we waited this long to start is because we like to see if there's any trades. And guess what? There were a few trades. And now we actually get to see a clearer picture. And we actually broke down the defensive alignments of each team. And I think this will help give everybody a better idea of what the league is, what the shape of the league is going into the season.
Unfortunately, there may be some injury replacements before the season even started as well.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that as well. Let's see.
Okay, so I guess I'll kick it off. We're going to start with the Cats in the Cradle, which is captained by Mike Melech Solomon. So real quick, on the mound, we know they took a lot of draft capital, and getting him was Yaakov Saruya. And I believe, just in general, that team will go as far as Yaakov Saruya takes them. I feel like if he steps it up and if he, really takes charge on the mound, and I've seen him do it, I know he can, I feel like this team can go places, but he is on the mound.
I'm a little scared at that. I'm not going to lie.
Listen,
I don't necessarily agree
and
with
rightfully
you.
so. At shortstop, the newly acquired Sammy Saruya, and this is a big trade that they made because going into the season, after the draft, they had Charles Sackett playing shortstop, and like we said when we broke down the trade, can he do it? Probably, but have we ever seen him do it? No. So
Right, so guys are saying we know he could do it for a 2-3 week stint for sure, but over the course of a whole season,
yeah, it's tough.
is it going to break
And this
you down?
field is tougher than any other field to throw someone at shortstop. It's very big, the infield.
You know, I compared Charles in a funny way. He's not even in the league this year. It's like when we had Jackie Cohen at short.
Yeah,
Jackie
yeah.
could be great. There's weeks where he looks like the best shortstop. But sometimes he has his breakdown weeks. Maybe Charles would have been there.
Speaking of Jackie Cohen, in center field for Cats in the Cradle is his older brother Michael Cohen. And
MC.
this year, Melech had the first overall pick. We know last year he spurned Michael, and that turned MC into the MVP self that we know he can be. So he went back to the well of MC, back to the Balbino days. And he's in a hope that he plays to the back of his baseball card again.
So he's hoping that Michael playing in the spring is only going to bring him into the season in mid-season form. Because usually it takes a week or 2 to get adjusted. So hopefully that's going to help him out. But you can't lose taking Michael in the first round.
Right, and then left field, he has big game Elliot Saka. We know Melech won the World Series before with Elliot Saka on
Get Swifty.
Get Swifty. We know he has a comfort zone with him. I'm a big fan of Elliott. Even if he goes into an offensive funk, he always comes up with big hits and
Yeah,
big
so-
defensive plays.
So it's interesting you say that because the last 2 years he hasn't been the Elliott we love at the plate consistent. He's hitting the ball well now.
Good. No, I love to see. I love to
He's
hear
hitting
it.
the ball well with pop.
Yeah, Elsack could be a factor. He could be like probably their four hitter.
And he's underrated defensively on a corner outfield. He's way above average. He's not
We
just
saw him
getting
play
right.
center field at one point of his career
Yeah,
in the
he's
spring
good.
morning. So I'm comfortable with him. I think he's actually best suited for right field.
He's great in right.
And guess
Great in
what?
right.
That leads me to the next player. Their right fielder is Isaac Sasson. So Isaac Sasson can play a really strong outfield position. I see him play left field every single week in the Brooklyn
You know what?
morning.
Maybe that'll happen.
They may actually swap. We'll see how that goes. But Isaac Sasson, as we saw last year with Blue Moon, was the lone bright spot for Blue Moon.
Cool.
And he emerged. And you know what? I think he's getting a really good opportunity here on this squad. At first base, we have veteran and future Hall of Famer Ike Mavora. Again, back to that get Swifty vibe.
Ikey's great. Ikey's clutch. Ikey's a big hitter.
I say this every show we do. You want anybody up,
Run him up.
bases loaded, down by a run,
His money
in the bottom of the seventh. I think
against my team a couple of weeks ago with his bad. He was in pain with his groin and everything. He still got the biggest hit of the game.
But I think Ike's okay. I heard from.
Oh, he's feeling great. He
I
caught
heard
8 innings.
in the underground Lakewood League, he caught 8 innings,
Yes.
and he said he was feeling fine.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm in love with her, and I'm feeling fine.
okay, and then at
But
second
the
base.
question is Ike getting a little bit long in the tooth for the night league?
Well, that
We'll find out. Meaning, it's
listen. I feel like once spring morning ends, he buys all
he'll
in.
be all in.
So let's see.
Possibly.
Hopefully, if their team treads water until then he comes in and he's a big,
He'll be big.
added punch to that
Really,
team.
they could use him as a DH if he really wants to take a chill a little bit, and not stretch at first, and they have options. We'll take
Right,
it
they could
down.
put Bernie Pindeck at
Exactly,
first. We'll see
Bernie
that
Pindeck could be
after.
there.
And then third base, I'm very excited about this player going into the season. He's opening eyes every league he's playing in, whether it be MSB in the morning and spring, whether it be the Tahina at night, is Mark Barsano. This kid packs a punch. And he's got the build of Jose Canseco. He really does.
So he looks great. I think he's your odds-on favorite to Rookie of the Year. Is it him, Alahan?
It's between him or Alahem, yeah.
Okay, who's ironically not on this team anymore. But that was part of the trade. I don't know the boy, this Barsano, but I saw him once. He was a big guy. He was injured actually when I saw him.
Yeah, you saw him
He was by
2
a world-
years
2
ago,
yeah.
and he's bigger since then.
I could hear it. So he's a big guy, strong guy. The Gold Bowl defensively is going to be a question
But I
mark.
think that will help him offensively as well.
It might, or some people say maybe not. Maybe those line drives carry a little further and they caught. Let's see.
The way his high majestic flies come off his bat, I think he's a candidate to put the ball over the fence this year.
Okay, so that's something if people try to do is usually a recipe for disaster. But
Let's see.
Let's see how he-
and he's a rookie, so let's see what happens. And then short center field, the aforementioned Bernie Pindeck, who was acquired also in that major trade, which we'll talk
big
about
news
later.
about Bernie Pindeck. Bernie Pindeck has been working with a fungo man, and he's been taking ground balls like crazy.
Is the fungo man's name Max Sutton?
It may or may not be, but he's been taking ground balls and he's working very hard on his infield skills. So
Okay, listen, it looks like he's getting an opportunity at short center field,
Yeah,
so
so
we'll get a
it's
chance to show it. And then to round out the team, the last three players, obviously Captain Melech. We know what he brings to the table in more ways than
Yes.
just his offense and his defense, also his emotional
yeah,
leadership
and
of the team.
Michael's offense picked up from 7 years ago and really never dipped.
And then a major storyline for this team is they have Freddie Hiddery on the bench, and
I'm a big believer that this turn of fortune that they thought was, oh no, we got Freddie, is going to end up being.
Freddie on the mound.
Yes.
Listen, I think if Yakov starts out hot, you're never going to see Freddie. If Yakov gets hit early, they may start questioning themselves.
I believe firmly that Freddie's going to get one game a week with this team.
Listen, we
I think
saw
it's the right-
last
and I
year
think it's the right thing
when
to
he
do.
took over for Dan Braun and Blue Moon, he actually won 3 games and had them at one point in the season. Maybe they had a idea of maybe they would be in contention. That's a big thing also.
Underrated that Freddie gets guys out and can pitch in this league. You give him a game, I think it's a good move. And the last player is a utility guy that 2 years ago played, Lou Haber. He could cover the
Luber,
outfield.
yeah, Luber, you could put him anywhere in a pinch. You put him in right field, he'll get the job done. You could catch him, he'll get the job
With
done.
our sub rules, you may need guys to cover the outfield. You
I agree.
Could only lock down was it 2 players, so Lou Haber's going to get his ample opportunity.
So that rounds out Cats in the Cradle, and then I'm going to let you take over when we talk about the whole.
So you know what? Like giving grades. to where Michael drafted his team?
So Melech's team drafted or Melech's team post-trade draft? It's a very big difference because
question.
I think his team is a little bit more rounded now. So I think it's tough to grade a team
That's
based
absolutely
on the
interesting.
draft.
So you want to see the final product, how you grade Melech?
I'm giving Melech's team a solid B-, and I feel like they could have done a little better, but overall they covered their key positions, especially with that trade. I think the whole entire season relies on the arm of Yaakov Saruya. I actually do indeed think this team is a playoff team. I think they're built really, really nicely. But like I said, if Yaakov could be more assertive, I think they can go places.
So I'm going to go C-. Sammy Saruya at short is a rookie. I know he could handle it, and I believe he'll be really good. But it's a rookie at short with Yaakov on the mound. I'm not such a believer in Yaakov on the mound. His team won the World Series last year, and I'm not going to say he wasn't a big part of it. He was a tremendous part of it, but at the plate. Okay? And they don't have Eddie Harari for that second game. The only thing that could save this team to me is Freddie Hittery really being a strike thrower on the mound in a good way. Maybe taking guys off balance. They're okay. And I also like one thing that they did post-trade. if Barcelona's going to have a tough time with the Gold Ball,
They could put Charles Sack at
that's
third.
right. Charles Sack is that swingman that could play Gold Glove third base too.
Right.
So that's the plus.
Hey, guess what? Maybe Charles Sackett is starting at third and Barcelona's playing up the middle.
You never know.
I don't know how they're
You never
doing it.
know.
I have no idea.
I think Charles would prefer to. Charles is happy up the middle, so I would imagine he's going to get.
Okay,
that.
listen.
And
I know Barcelona. I think he's going to do okay. That's my opinion.
Okay, I've seen Charles play short center also.
So do you think they're a playoff team? It sounds like a C- is not a playoff
I'm
team.
saying they're not a playoff.
Wow. Okay.
They might be that close at the end, but I don't see this team making the playoffs.
Okay, so let's move on to the whole, captained by Gabe Abadi.
So the whole, I'll take it on this. The whole Gabe Abadi is coming back as captain, not a rookie captain here. He's done it in the past. It's been a while.
El Diablo.
El Diablo. So this is Gabe's only lead this year. He chose not to play Sunday. I don't know if he's golfing or his wife is shopping with him in Bed Bath & Beyond, but he'll be here at night, and he went with one goal. They went,
Pick my boys.
pick my boys. He's believing camaraderie, a fun team chat, and guys that could have a good time.
You could say pick my boys, but there is talent there
Well,
also.
when your boys have Jack Abadi and your brother's Carlos, and you're getting Buka
and Teddy Braha and Leo Picciotto, and
so
come on, they have a good
of course
squad.
they could win with their boys. They could compete with their boys. And Jack Abadi, when this draft was going on, he was so unconscious that he didn't make out yet. I think he was like the number was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was down like a 900. It was
No, 1,000. He was on base 17 straight times with the walks. So that's when he was drafted here. So, and maybe he came back down to earth a little bit, but he's still probably the number one offensive player in the league.
But the number one burning question for this team is how is Sonny Shalom going to fare on the mound against these lineups?
So that's a problem. So I did hear that Sonny stayed by Mikey's house for 3 Shabbats over the last 2 months, and in the backyard they were playing catch, and Mikey was giving him some tips.
I also heard
Pointers.
through the grapevine that he might be splitting games with Leo Picciotto.
Interesting.
I don't know if Leo has ever thrown a pitch before, ever, but
Jackie Picciotto, Leo's dad, was a pitcher.
okay. So
Maybe Leo.
we got bloodlines both ways, but we might have the wrong part of each family.
Right.
We don't have Mikey, we don't have Jackie.
Okay. Now, both great players, but let's see if they can handle it.
But if you want to go quickly, their defensive alignment.
So Sonny's going to be on the mound, it looks like. That's how we have it. Gabe at short
Right.
is golden. Even last year when he wasn't as into it Sunday morning, he was still great
Right,
at
you were
short.
on his team.
Yeah, Buka, he really, by the way, to me that's a steal now. Even though they got him early, he's opening up. Every week he's getting better and better, stronger, and he's a ball player.
Right, listen,
Okay?
we all saw he had the potential a
Yeah,
few years
and
ago.
It's starting to open. He's batting third right now.
Right.
Sunday, he's probably batting third.
And then his boy, Teddy Braha.
We know what Teddy brings to the table, and Teddy hits better at night.
Yeah, we saw, I think he won Player of the Week multiple times last
he
year.
hit a walk-off shot once. He hits better at night.
Yeah, and he also
his
has
glove
and he
is
has
strong.
World Series experience, Teddy. That's
And
right.
his glove is no doubt.
So Teddy is in left, and then
Carlos.
I don't know if Carlos is in right field. I'm guessing he's in right field.
Okay, Carlos is a swingman. Carlos will play the infield, will play the outfield. Carlos as well, historically, hits better at night. I don't know what it is. Look at the numbers. So that could be their hope. And welcome back. We love
By the
Carlos
way,
in the
speaking
league.
of Carlos, Carlos is a World Series champion in M&S. He was a captain of
as a captain.
Noom Sanity and
That's right.
of Noom C. No, just one time.
One-time
Just
winner. He was a captain a few times. One-time winner with Insanity. Leo Picciotto is a professional hitter. Now the part and Jack Abadi we spoke
Leo's
about.
going to be playing first base, and I think he's splitting games with Sonny. I think that's how it's going to work. First base pitcher, first
Now,
base pitcher.
an interesting question on this team is David Hakeem to me, because David Hakeem had a lot of potential when he played with the eligible bachelors. Sunday morning YMSL, that team was a train wreck, but he has some pop. He's an athletic guy. Does he jog now? Has he picked up a bat?
I don't know, but I think he's playing short center field from the way I guessed their defensive alignment.
He's a confident player, but I don't know if he found his glove yet, so I'm not sure.
Right, and we have Herb Batesh, who's a solid second baseman.
Second baseman. Hope he found his glove as well.
I actually hope he finds his bat too, because I don't remember him hitting when he was in the league a few years ago.
Okay.
And then Dongo at catcher, Albert Myman and Marcus Adjmi to round out the bunch.
Albert Myman's a great bowler. I bowl with him Tuesday nights in the winter.
Unfortunately, this is not a bowling league.
Okay, I don't know how it translates. It's like I said. Marcus Adjmi is a player in our league for quite some time.
Yeah, Coos.
And he could be around the diamond. He could play a little second, a little short center. He's willing to catch if you need him. So that's interesting. But I think the bottom half of this team's draft, Leo and Gabe, you could say they did it together a little bit. I think Gabe overdrafted players. He's going for the boys.
Well, we saw he made a few trades to guarantee that he got his guys.
Right.
And he actually could have got better players, but you rather have, like you said, the camaraderie.
The boys. So I guess he's got to hope that top half of the team is fantastic. Like really fantastic. Because whoever's batting fifth may not see a pitch.
Right.
That's what I could say. Unless, the El Dongos and Albert Myman,
the David Hakeems of the world
step up and prove us wrong. Otherwise...
Listen, if you ask me, I'm giving this team a C- grade, even a D+, just based on what you said alone. There was other players available to be drafted, and he obviously went with one goal in mind. This is my first team, I will tell you, that I don't think is making the playoffs.
Hey, Gabe was loyal, because he could have taken Freddie Hickory, and he said, if I take him, I'm missing
Sonny's not pitching, and I'm not getting one of my friends.
Right, I'm missing one of my friends. So he really was loyal. So he's putting a lot in Sonny's arm.
And listen, will Sonny figure it out during the middle of the year? It might be too little too late at that point. I do think that he's not giving the lineups, or Gabe isn't giving the lineups enough credit to put Sonny on the mound. I think it's going to be,
If Sonny was built around the team with more offense and maybe, more completing, I could say Sonny's going to figure it out. When you have a pitcher on the team, he's going to go through some growing pains.
Oh, for sure.
It's the first time. So
you watch Sonny's going to come out throwing BBs. And
I hope he does.
That'll be great to see. But until I see it, I don't believe it.
But I will say, going over the team afterwards, their offense is a little bit better than I thought. Because then again, Sonny himself,
right?
We don't give him enough credit.
Yeah, but Sonny hitting while pitching, we've never seen
that. May hurt him a little bit. But they do have guys that could get on base. I think the bottom half may be trouble, and that's why I'm with you. I don't see playoffs.
Okay, so you just said two teams are not making the playoffs,
which out right away.
Which bottom line means every other team we're talking about you believe are a playoff team.
Yeah, but 4 and 5 is very different.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I think this team right here is not making the playoffs completely.
Okay, on to the next.
On to the next team, which is called Layout, formerly known as Powerball, which is captained by rookie captain this year, former Gold Glove winner, former World Series champion in Sol Towel. Now, before we talk about this team...
Rookie captain, but he has a lot to say right away.
And I know he made a few enemies, number one in DSAS. I'm not sure what happened there. The league has no idea what I'm talking about, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, Towel. Towel punk, as we'll say. Okay, really quickly, Eddie Harari on the mound. The way this team was drafted and the way it fell to him and the trade that he made during the draft to allow him to get JT in the spot that he got him, it really built this team. And if you look at the way the draft went, he got every guy just by one pick. And I credit that to him because he mapped out the draft to perfection.
So I think he gets more credit than guys that get lucky with drafts.
Well, he did get lucky because MC was going to Melech regardless, and Jacobowdy was going to Gabe regardless.
Yeah, that felt to him good.
So that which means he got Zach, and then
the Zach pick felt to him, but the other ones he made trades.
JT, he made that trade. So now we have Eddie Harari in the mound, like we said, which he took in a nice spot, a little bump from where Eddie went last year, and then like we said, Zach, best shortstop in the game.
And he's the third player picked on this team.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, so
Eddie Harari, Zach, arguably the best player in the sport. JT, I think we're going to have a revitalized JT in center field. He's very excited about this team. It's his type of team.
Does it help that his team Sunday morning is 2-8?
Of course it helps because
he may come in a little more hungry.
they already mentally folded in Sunday morning, and now all of a sudden
might be done.
It's a new opportunity right now.
Right.
And then you have Albert Zolta, who we know is a money man. I think he regressed a little bit over the last year or so.
Yeah, I think his wife had a lot to do with it. I mean, she's been, I don't know, they're going out to eat and he's giving her a lot of attention and maybe some of it went off the softball.
Okay,
nothing
could
wrong
be.
with that. It's a good thing.
And now I'm actually
He loves his wife.
I'm excited about this upcoming rookie, Sleepy Joe Batesh. Joe B, we call him Sleepy Joe because he always looks like he's sleeping, but he's a really hungry player.
I thought it's because he's liberal and he likes Joe Biden.
He's not debatable. No, he doesn't. But no, Joe B, he could really hit. He looks a little unconventional in the outfield. Doesn't look like he has the most fluid first jump to the ball, but he gets the job done. He gets there, he lays out, and he's a gamer, and he really, really cares, and he wants to be great.
So
I know
it's
that.
his first time in the league. He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, but he's playing in Sunday mornings for 6 years already. He's not a kid.
Playing at night, other than the Tahina.
Yeah.
So he's been playing it. Offensively, I saw him in the cages a few times. I'm taking Sammy's word.
No, you saw him on his 8th round in the cages.
Right.
That's a big difference.
And he's extremely confident in his bat.
Yeah, he's cocky.
Extremely confident. He'll himself tell you I'm a top 10 hitter. He's gonna have to prove it.
Listen,
now.
and I know that because the view of how he looks when he's hitting and feeling, you don't get that vibe. It's almost like you feel like he's not, but he really is. He's a really good hitter, and I'm a big fan of his, and I think he's going to have a nice year. And then veteran at first base, Maurice Haber. Add a little veteran spice to the.
He's always good to have on a team like this.
100%. And then his son Juber, who is like we said before about somebody else, a swingman. Juber you could put in the outfield. Juber you could put in the infield.
It's funny. Last year we saw Juber in center.
Yeah, for GOAT, and he was great.
I would, if I had to, when I was drafting a team, I wouldn't mind Juber as my center fielder.
I don't disagree with you, but the fact that Juber goes in the 4th, 5th round anyway, I would not, because you're going to get that center fielder anyway there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
why he ends up at second.
right, he'll end up at second or short center. Sol Towel himself at 3rd. I have not seen him at 3rd. You could tell me.
I heard a little through the grapevine. Saul's not going to be at 3rd.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and you can keep going. And I'll explain.
Okay, Avi Dweck at short center. Maybe
Avi
he goes
Dweck
to 3rd.
just had LASIK PKR eye surgery.
Okay.
And he is seeing 20/20 like he's never seen before. And there's something special cooking regarding Avi Dweck. I can't talk about it now. You guys will find out soon.
Okay, really nice.
Avi is getting 3rd base, from what I heard. So let's see how that
Wow,
goes.
so Avi at 3rd, that means Sol Towel goes to short center or second
right,
base.
that's right.
Okay, listen, Avi's going to have a challenge here at 3rd base this
Hey,
year.
Avi played 3rd with the World Series team, High Cheese.
Yeah.
And was the man
And
there.
his teammate was Sol Towel, and
That's
another
right.
teammate of theirs actually was the Fonz.
There you go.
Catching, and I heard Fonz is growing in that stash extra illustrious like Tom Selleck.
Beautiful. The rumor had it they want to dye it black. I don't know if he's going to do it, but I heard he wants to dye it
No,
black.
he may. And
Hope he
then,
does.
listen, they're going to have an underutilized good player on their bench. It shows how deep this team is in Jack Ruben Beebe. Jack Beebe, you could put him at 3rd. I know Sabon doesn't want to hear that. You could put him in the outfield. You could catch him. And he's the nicest, best teammate you'll ever
and he's
get.
happy to DH, which may not be a problem.
And guess what? He's a good hitter also.
Yeah, he's strong hitter.
So Jack Beebe, and to round it out, your nephew Ike Batesh.
Okay, now big shout out to Ike Batesh. He's down more weight than the last time we spoke. He's down about 30, 35 pounds. And on top of that,
Wearing his leg.
no, he's really, you'll see it. And he's hitting the ball. He has 2 triples and a double.
You know what's funny
already.
about Ike? I remember on 1.5, he also had a few triples.
Oh, yes. So now it's coming to fruition. He, on his team Sunday morning, the Cacambas with Jack Abadi and that team, he's a real hitter.
Maybe the juice theory is real.
I don't know. He's hitting the ball really well. So that looks like it could be a steal now after the fact.
So now we just went through the team. I'm going to tell you, this is one of my World Series picks teams. I think this team is just too good. There really isn't any holes. Great mix of stars. Good mix of role players in there. You have really strong defense from top to bottom. I like the veteran youth mix. I like what Sol Towel did over here. And I don't know, maybe I'll think about it a little more if Avi ends up at 3rd. I don't know, I got to see him there. But I think he could get the job done. But this is one of my World Series teams.
Okay, I don't have him in the World Series. I do have him in the top 3. I'm questioning Joe Batesh in the outfield. I don't know. People are telling me he's average or below average. So we'll find out. I love their lineup. I love his
Are
draft.
you saying it's subpar Joe?
Maybe.
No, it's Sleepy Joe, but he's good. He's good.
You have Zach Shaw, JT, and so they're a strong team, and I believe they're going to be a top 3 seed. And Eddie Harari has a little bit more of a challenge on his back right now, taken as a top 3 pick. Granted, the league is deep, and they got some good players after that. I think Avi will be fine at third. He's been working at it, and he's excited. And that's not even a big deal, because Saltal can go to third if there is an issue.
That's what I'm saying.
So I have him as a top 3 seed, and I do not have him in the World Series.
All right, let's.